About to give true and correct.
Yes.
Please be seated.
Ms. Stone, you may inquire when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold.
Hello.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Tracy Arnold, Arnold.
And Ms. Arnold, are you employed?
I am.
How so?
I am employed by the Educational Service District 113 True North.
Okay, and what is your title? What do you do for them?
My title is Student Assistance Professional.
What is that?
I am a addiction counselor and behavioral health counselor.
And can you somewhat briefly explain your education training background?
Yeah. I have a master's degree in behavioral health and a master's certificate in addiction counseling.
Okay. How many years of school is that?
6 years.
Okay. How long have you been working in the profession?
11 years.
Where are you currently located for your job?
I'm located at Timberline High School.
Okay, and where is your office in terms of Timberline High School?
My office is in the front office, the attendant's office.
And
I'm going to have you scoot your chair forward just a little bit so you can get close to that microphone.
Okay.
all right. So we want to make sure that our reporter can hear you to write it down.
Okay.
But also set the interpreters in the back of the courtroom
Okay.
can hear as well. So if you can think about speaking loud enough to them in the back, does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Okay. And were you employed, well, let me back up. You said that you were employed as a student assistance professional. You're located in Timberline High School, but do you actually work for Timberline High School
I
or
do
someone
not.
else?
No, I work for True North.
Explain to me what that means.
So my agency contracts with many districts, and so we are contracted with North Thurston Public Schools.
Okay. And so on October 18th, 2024, were you located at Timberline High School?
Yes.
Were you located there within that capacity?
Yes.
And were you at work on October 18th of 2024?
Yes.
What were you doing that day? Describe kind of generally that day for me.
Yeah. So I generally spend my day working with students. I have a caseload of clients that are in my services. I have students that come see me that are not in services, that just know who I am and grab snacks throughout the day. I do individual sessions and assessments.
Okay. And are you familiar with a student by the name of Fatima Ali?
Yes.
Is Fatima on your caseload or you just know her otherwise?
I do not have her on my caseload, and I never have. I just know her from working at the school and being familiar with other students.
Okay. And when you say working at the school, how do you know Fatima?
I knew Fatima from the year before, 2023-2024 school year. I kind of have odd hours where I work till 5:30 or 6, which is after school. And Fatima and her sister Noor would often stay after school hours until someone picked them up. And they would often come by my office and I would give them food and snacks until they got picked up.
And you said you're in the front office. If you're in the front office, and do you know where Miss West and Miss Kinley's desks are?
Yes.
Where is your office in relation? If somebody's standing in there looking at their desks, where would your office be?
Okay, so there are 3 doors to the right of the attendant's office desk where Miss West and Miss Kinley sit, and I would be the middle door, just to the right behind their desk.
Okay. Do you know of a student by the name of Isaiah?
I did not.
Okay. On October 18th, 2024, as it relates to student Fatima Ali, do you recall any incidents of significance occurring?
Yes.
Without repeating anything that anyone told you, can you please tell the jury what you remember about that day as it relates to that student, Fatima, throughout the day as it began before you got to the end of the day?
Okay. I did not see Fatima at all that day. I did not see her until just a couple minutes before the bell rang for the end of the day.
Okay. And where do you see Fatima towards the end of the day?
Well, I often stand outside my office as the bell rings to just see kids off. And I happened to step outside of my office and look to my left, and I could see Fatima standing in front of the principal's office where there's some chairs located.
Okay. Did Fatima appear to have any items with her at the time that you observed?
Yes, she had 2 bags with her.
And how did Fatima look at the time that you saw her, if you recall?
Yeah. She looked a lot thinner than the last time I had seen her. She looked very frail, skinny. She looked scared.
And do you recall when you had seen her prior to that?
Probably in September at some point.
Of that same school year?
Yes.
And at the time this occurs, how far into the school year are we? Like a month, a couple of weeks, something different?
I think about like 5 or 6 weeks into the school year.
And so what do you do or see next once you see Fatima sitting out there with her bags?
Yes, I looked to my left and I could see Liz Robinson in the office to the right of mine, and she was going through a box of hats.
And what do you mean by a box of hats?
Yeah, we have donations throughout the year where people will knit hats, and we give them away for free at Christmas time to anybody who wants one.
Right. Who is, you said Liz Robinson. Who is Liz Robinson?
She's the school mental health counselor.
And so when you saw Ms. Robinson going through the box of hats, again, without repeating anything that anyone told to you, what happened next?
I asked her what was going on.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with her about that?
Yes.
Okay. Based on that conversation, what did you do next?
After she told me what she told me, I walked over to Fatima and gave her a hug and told her if she needed anything, she knew where my office was.
Okay. And then what happened next?
Fatima was putting her hair in a hat, and then she requested a mask to put on her face.
And where did the mask come from?
One of the staff members in the principal office, one of the receptionists or secretaries there.
Okay. Do you know what that secretary's name is?
I believe it was Gina.
Okay. And when you say a mask, what kind of mask?
It's like a blue COVID mask, like made out of paper.
And where did that come from, if you recall?
From the staff member, I believe there's probably a stack of them.
Somewhere in that office?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after she's given a hat, after she's given that mask? I believe you said she put her hair up into that hat. What happens next?
I turn around and go back to my office.
Okay. And does something additional then happen after you have returned to your office?
Yes.
What happens next?
Liz Robinson came in from outside and stood outside my office with me.
Okay. And are you back in your office now, or are you standing outside of your office?
I'm standing outside my office.
Okay. And so about what time is this?
Probably maybe either 2:05 to 2:15. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. So shortly after school has ended, is that
Yes.
correct? And do you know about how long that time lapse was from saying essentially goodbye to Fatima and Liz Robinson returning?
I would guess maybe 10 minutes or so,
Okay.
but I'm not quite sure.
Do you remember seeing any other students leaving with Fatima at the time she left?
I did not.
Okay. No other students, at least, in the office with her when she was getting the hat or the mask, is that correct?
Not that I saw.
Okay. So when Mrs. Robinson comes back, again, without repeating anything that anyone told you, what happens next?
We're just making small talk.
Okay. And at this point, based on what you have observed, do you have any concerns?
Yes.
And without being specific about those concerns, what is the nature of those concerns?
Objection as to relevance and form of the question.
I sustained.
Do you have any specific concerns about Fatima?
Yes.
And what is the nature of that concern?
The nature.
As to relevance.
I'm sorry, did someone?
Objection as to relevance.
Members of the jury, at this time, I'm going to ask that the bailiffs come forward and take you back to the jury room for a brief break.
Please be seated.
I'm actually going to have you step down and step outside the courtroom, and we'll bring you back in a few minutes. Ms. Stone, relevance?
Yes, Your Honor. As we have talked about with both Ms. Robinson, as we've talked about with Ms. Waltermeyer, this is an individual who has known now Fatima for a couple of years. She's not on her caseload, but she has interacted with her. She's had an opportunity to see her over the course of 2 years. And on this day, again, without asking her for specifics associated with that, she has indicated that she had a concern for her. It is relevant for the jury, I think, to understand that this is yet another adult that shared that concern based on the information that they had and their observations of Fatima specifically, that it again rebuts the implication that Fatima is a liar and making all of this up. Additionally, I think it's a clarification certainly that she wasn't concerned Fatima going to get lost walking to the bus stop. It was a generalized concern. I anticipate she's going to say something along the lines of for Fatima's safety based on what she had witnessed and what she knows of Fatima. That is directly in line with the nature of the other testimony that has been provided and deemed relevant in this case by those other witnesses.
Just one moment. All right, go ahead.
She knows Fatima from after school and through her sister Nora. Doesn't have any specific relationship with her beyond that. I didn't object to her testifying that she appeared thinner, frail, and scared. She then has a conversation with Ms. Robinson, who tells me what's going on. And now what is the concern? Waltermeyer has testified to her concern, so has Ms. Robinson. To me, this is cumulative and simply, basically, her concern is going to be informed by what happened afterward and by Ms. Robinson's statement, as to what happened. She's not an employee of the school, she's a contract mental health provider and drug and alcohol treatment provider who has no professional relationship with Fatima. I think this goes beyond the court's ruling about individual people who have specific relationships with Fatima or on behalf of the school. I don't think it's proper to add this testimony, and it's cumulative at best.
Ms. Stone, anything further?
It's not cumulative, it's different. It's a different witness with a different perspective based on different interactions, and she initiated that part of the conversation about saying, just in the last 6 weeks, she looked different. She looked thinner, she looked frail, she looked scared, and that is different than how I saw her even 6 weeks ago, and she's known her now at this point for going on 2 years. So it is consistent with those statements that Ms. Waltermeyer made and Ms. Robinson made. It is a different set of observations about the same individual who has an ongoing concern. It is also consistent, I will tell the force, with what Ms. Waltermeyer said about these are people that that student, Fatima Ali, has had a relationship with and built that relationship with over the course of her time at Timberline High School. And that is consistent with Ms. Waltermeyer's concern about her being transferred to another high school. So this is yet another adult that reestablishes that relationship and an understanding of Fatima. So I think that is relevant as we're going into this. And I would disagree that her understanding or her concern is based on what Ms. Robinson told her about that day versus and what she saw after the fact. She's already described what she observed herself, and that in and of itself was concerning.
All right, thank you. I'm going to sustain the objection. This witness answering a question as to any specific concern that she had on that day is different than the testimony I allowed by Ms. Robinson and Ms. Waltermeyer. Ms. Robinson was an actual provider to Fatima at the school and was able to testify as to those interactions and what she observed in the day in question and her interactions with her in the day in questions, and therefore the concerns based upon her historical relationship with her and then what was happening that day. And I've already indicated why I found that that was relevant and admissible above Mrs. Ali's objection. For Ms. Waltermeyer, that I also allowed her to discuss her concern as the vice principal. Contrary to what Mr. Leary said, I did not let her talk about on behalf of the school. In fact, I excluded that. However, she was the vice principal. She had had interactions with the family itself and worked with the family. When I say the family, I mean Mrs. Ali. And because of that connection and her contacts with Fatima related to her schooling and ultimately moving to online schooling, I allowed some of the testimony regarding her concerns based upon her work with Fatima and with the family. This witness has never worked directly with Fatima, knows her from the school. She has testified as to what she observed on that day, and that she described how she what she witnessed and how she described how Fatima was presenting prior to school being let out. But what the nature of her concern is not relevant. I would also indicate that it was informed somewhat, certainly by hearsay from her discussions with Miss Robinson, when Ms. Robinson told her what was going on, and therefore I am going to sustain the objection. I don't find her testimony as to what the specifics of the concern were is relevant as it relates to the issues in the case. I'll have the bailiffs bring the jury back in, please, and we can have Ms. Arnold return to the stand.
Thank you for the correction.
Would you like me to remain standing? You can be seated or stand, however you prefer.
Please be seated. Members of the jury, I have sustained the objection, and Ms. Stone, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Ms. Arnold, right, before we broke, you said you had observed, your testimony was that you had observed Fatima. She looked thinner than you had seen her about 6 weeks prior. I believe the word you used also was frail and scared.
Objection, leading and asked and answered.
Sustained.
Was that your testimony previously?
Yes.
Sustained.
And when we,
Just a moment. What was that?
Move to strike.
The last question and answer will be stricken.
and so after you've seen Fatima go out in that condition that you have described, and you are standing there, you said Miss Robinson came back, what happens next?
We are talking, and a couple minutes into talking, Fatima comes in the front door.
Okay, and when you say Fatima comes in the front door, where are you? When you say you're talking, where
Mhm.
are you in relation to Fatima coming in the front door?
Yeah, I think we were standing a little closer to the attendant's office desk, so a little bit farther from the front of my door of my office.
Okay, and who is in the office at this time?
I know for sure Miss West and Miss Kinley and myself and Liz.
Okay, and you said Fatima comes in the front door of where?
That leads from the main office to the common areas.
Okay, and what happens when Fatima comes in the main office?
She's trying to scream. She's really loud, but her voice is really gravelly. She's running towards us past the office desk there, and she is saying something and while she's screaming.
And so first of all, how does she appear to you in terms of demeanor when you see Fatima?
Demeanor, she looks terrified. She looked like she was in fear. She looked like she was in pain.
And what about physically, how did she appear? You'd seen her when she'd left just a little bit before. How did she appear now? Same or something different?
Something different.
What does that different look like?
She was kind of staggering as she was coming in. She was trying to go as fast as she could, I think, but she just was not capable of fully running while she's making or saying things.
And you described her as appearing terrified and in fear and in pain. What does that look like physically?
Yeah, it's mostly the expression on her face. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry.
That's okay. What does that look like?
She looked, thank you, like her face was scrunched up, maybe a little bit red. It's really hard to describe fear,
Sure.
but she just looked really scared.
And you said she was saying something at the time. What was she saying at the time?
She was yelling to her best ability. She was saying, "He tried to kill me. My dad tried to kill me. He was choking me."
And what happens next?
Very quickly after, maybe just a second or two, the student, who I now know is after following her.
Okay. And going back for a moment, when Fatima is making these statements to you, is she gesturing in any way?
She has her hands up near her neck as she's making those statements.
Okay. And what do you do when she makes those statements to you and the other student, Isaiah?
I turn to my left to Liz and I say, "Get them in a locked room."
Overruled.
Go ahead.
I turn to Liz and I say, get them into a locked room.
And what do you do?
I turn and head for the front door that leads to the commons.
And what happens with them?
I saw them start to run away before I turned around.
And when you say run away where?
From the main office towards the principal's area.
And what is everybody else doing? So you said it was you, Miss Robinson, is that Denise Kinley?
Yes,
Okay. And you said, I believe, Miss West, is that Sosa West?
yes.
What is everybody else doing during this time?
I'm not aware of what Denise Kinley and Sosa West are really doing at that time. It was a matter of seconds.
So you said you went towards those glass doors. What happens next?
As I'm hurrying to the doors, I grab the door, which is a locking door, to shut it, and I shut the door.
And are those front doors coming into the office or a different set of doors?
It's the glass door that leads from the commons into the office.
Okay. And does anyone else come in that you see as you're going through the process of closing those doors?
Yes, Ms. Ali has come through the door, where I was able to shut it all the way.
Okay. And what happens next?
After I shut the door, I turn around and run around Ms. Ali towards the vice principal's office.
So did Mrs. Ali go around you?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say you go towards the vice principal's office, where is that?
That's completely across the main office to the other side.
Do you know at this point where Mrs. Robinson and those two students, Fatima and
No.
and what do you do next?
I run around Ms. Ali to get to the two double doors that lead towards the vice principal's office, the doors that Liz and the two students ran through.
Okay, so you know they went through those two doors, you just don't know where they went thereafter?
Correct.
Okay. And what do you do once you get to those two doors?
I grab both of those doors from the inside of the principal's office side, and I'm shutting them.
Okay. And when you shut them, how many doors are in the back side of that office? I believe you previously said 3, is that correct?
The ones that lead from the main office to the vice principal's. Oh, sorry.
No, that's
That's-
okay. You can't ask questions, she'll ask you. another
Okay,
one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. If you don't understand a question, just let me know
Okay.
you don't understand it and I'll rephrase it, okay?
Yes, can you rephrase that?
Yes, absolutely. So previously, when you indicated, you were talking about the front office and you said, I believe there were 3 sets of doors to the back and yours is the middle door. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you're talking about that admin door or excuse me, that front office and you're talking about the administration doors, where in the set of 3, if you're looking at the back of the front office, is that set of doors?
If I'm looking at my office,
Mhm.
it's to the right of that.
Okay. And when you're in trying to close those doors, are you closing them from the office side, the administration side, or something else?
The administration side.
Okay. And explain what happens next.
As I'm trying to close the doors, they're kind of on like hydraulics. They close very slowly, and I was just putting my body pressure on them to close them as fast as I could.
Did they close as quickly as the front doors did?
No, they did not.
And you described Mrs. Ali came in. How did you know it was Mrs. Ali? What about that? What about her indicated to you that it was Mrs. Ali?
She was yelling, "Where's my daughter?" I saw my daughter go through there. "Where's my daughter?"
And how was she dressed at the time, if you recall?
She was wearing a long either dress or pants, dark in color, and she had her headscarf on.
And do you actually get those pressurized doors closed?
I do.
And what happens next?
On the inside, the administration side, there's a bar that you can push to open and shut those doors. And I grabbed onto that and leaned back with my body weight to hold them shut.
Okay. And again, without repeating anything that you have heard, can you hear if Miss Ali is engaging with anyone in the front office?
Yes.
Okay. And how would you describe the demeanor or the tone of that back and forth?
It was very loud. It was almost to the point of yelling.
And how long did that go on? Do you recall?
I don't, but it felt like just a couple minutes.
Okay. When you saw Miss Ali, how did she appear to you?
Upset.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe more like frantic.
I'm going to ask you again, what do you mean by that? What does that look like?
She was yelling. She was yelling really loudly through the door as I was shutting it, waving her hands.
Did you ever hear her asking about the condition of her daughter?
No, she did not.
May I approach her?
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been previously admitted in State's Exhibit 111. Ask you to look at 111 silently to yourself for a moment, and then look up at me when you're done, please. Do you recognize what I've handed you?
Yes.
Okay, well, what are those?
Still shots from the camera in the main office.
Okay, are those appear to be a true and accurate representation of that scene as it appeared on October 18th of 2024?
Yes.
Do you recognize whether you are depicted in any of those photos?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to come retrieve those from you. May I, Your Honor? Yes. May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes. Mrs. Robinson, or excuse me, Mrs. Arnold, can you, I know there's a little bit of a glare with the lights, can you see, first of all, what we're looking at in State's Exhibit 111 on page 1? What is this a photograph of?
This is looking at the attendance office desk from behind, I think above my office door.
Okay. And is that how Fatima appeared to you, consistent with what you've described? Do you see her when she comes in there, or do you see her later?
I believe I saw her right around that point.
Okay. State's Exhibit, or same, State's Exhibit 11, page 2. And who is depicted here at the front desk in the blonde? We'll hold. There we go. Who is the individual here with the blonde hair?
Denise Kinley.
Okay. State's Exhibit 4, do you recognize the individuals, or excuse me, 111, page 4, do you recognize the individuals pictured in this photograph?
again, apologies for the glare, but,
Yes,
and where are you located in this photograph?
I believe I'm the one in the white shoes.
Okay.
Oh.
And page 5 of State's Exhibit 111, same question, what's happening in this photograph?
Denise Kinley and myself and Fatima are standing across from my office door.
Okay. And is this when you observed that other student, Isaiah? If you recall.
I don't recall if that's him or not.
Okay. Showing you still State's Exhibit 111, looking at page 7. What are we looking at here? Straighten her out.
This is Ms. Ali coming through, and I'm at the front glass doors. Well, Sosa, Miss West, and Denise Kinley are on the phones.
Okay, and when you say you're at the front glass doors, are you talking about this individual in the white shoes in the very top center of the photograph?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, and is this the individual coming through, I would say, top left quadrant of the photograph that you've identified as Miss Ali?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, have those two students, Fatima and Isaiah, been moved into that back room?
Yes.
Okay. Page 8. Do you recognize who is depicted in, page 8 of this exhibit?
Yes.
Who's that?
Ms. Ali on the left-hand side, Denise Kinley and Sosa West on the right-hand side, and myself facing the camera after I'd shut the door.
So, question about the doors. When you close the doors, is it something where people could still exit if they needed to, but you just couldn't get in from the outside?
Correct.
Okay. And page 9 of State's Exhibit 111. I know it's a little blurry. What are we observing here in terms of the, again, top left-hand quadrant of this photograph?
I'm running towards those double doors.
At the back of that office?
Yes.
Okay. It appears that at that point, Mrs. Ali was in, is that correct?
Yes.
So, did you have to go around her or something else? Something else?
I had to go around her.
So after you get those doors shut, can you hear if there's argument or yelling happening on the other side?
Yes.
How long does that go for? Do you recall?
It felt like a minute or two.
And again, without repeating anything that anyone told you, what happens next?
As I'm leaning back, holding the door shut, staff members are coming out of their offices to find out what happened.
At some point during this process, is the school placed on a lockdown?
Yes.
Can you see while you're holding those doors closed if either of those students are present anywhere behind you?
Yes, they are not.
Is there a nurse's room back there?
Yes, there is.
Okay. So if they had been taken to a nurse's room, would you have been able to personally observe that?
No.
At some point, do you let go of those doors?
Yes.
Okay. And whenabouts does that occur?
After the lockdown was put in effect.
At some point, did the yelling, or that you could hear between Mrs. Kinley and Mrs. Ali stop?
Yes.
Do you recall how long that yelling lasted for?
Just a minute or two.
During the time, could you hear, while you were listening to Mrs. Ali, could you hear, was she speaking in English or something else?
English.
Did you ever reopen those double doors again to the main office?
Yes.
About how long later?
Probably just a couple minutes later after the lockdown.
Okay, so then what happens next?
I opened the doors, and I could see the front office staff in the main office on the phones calling 911.
And at some point then
I'm
do,
sorry, Vista, I'm gonna stop you for just a moment. You know, I think right now would be a really good time for everyone just to stand up for a minute, move around in place, if that would be helpful. And you may continue.
thank you, Your Honor. And so you said, what do you do after those doors open back up to the main office? What happens next?
I'm kind of just the middle person between the front office staff and the administration area,
And what do you mean by the middle person?
relaying what Denise Finley and Sosa West are up when they're updating about the 911 calls to the administration area, to whoever was back there.
Okay, and then once that process is complete, where do you go?
I go back to where my office is,
Okay, what are you doing at your office at that point?
just kind of standing there in shock.
Okay. At some point, do you see law enforcement or medics arrive?
Yes.
And about how long after, if you know?
I don't know. 5 to 10 minutes maybe.
5 to 10, not very long, is that
No.
fair? Okay. Had you seen, prior to this event, had you seen Mrs. Ali before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and how close in time relation to this event had you previously seen Mrs. Ali?
Maybe a couple weeks.
And was that at the school?
Yes.
Was that in the picking up a student, dropping a student off, something else?
Something else.
And again, without details, what was that something else?
I believe she had a meeting with one of the administrators.
Okay, and when you say one of the administrators, who would that administrator be?
Celeste Waltermeyer.
Have you spoken with Mr. Ali before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And when about was that?
About a week or two before the October 18th event.
Was that at school?
Yes.
And did that conversation happen in English, Arabic, or something else?
English.
How would you describe the effectiveness or the clarity of that communication between you and Mr. Ali?
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any issue communicating?
No, I did not.
Okay. And you said you're aware of a student by the name of
Fact. Yes.
after these events. Did you
Yes.
see him on October 18th of 2024?
Yes.
When you saw Mr. Williams,
Upset, frantic, scared as well.
how did he sound? Did you hear him saying anything? What did his voice sound like?
Yes, he was yelling loud, and he was saying,
Objection as to what you're saying.
What did his voice sound like? Sorry. What did his voice sound like?
Okay. His voice sounded loud, maybe shaky a little bit.
How would you describe the pace?
Very quick.
And by the time, have you previously spoken with Fatima prior to these events?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with what her voice sounds like?
Yes.
Are you familiar with what the pacing of her speech is like?
Yes.
You previously said she was screaming, but there wasn't sound. Can you explain to me what you mean, please?
Yes, you can tell, I could tell by her face, or it appeared that she was trying to get out very loudly what had just happened, and it was coming out very gravelly and not clear as it was previously.
And how would you describe the, lack of a better word, the smoothness of her movements?
It was not smooth. She was kind of staggering. She was not walking like she had previously walked when I saw her before.
Okay. Based on how you observed Fatima, had you ever heard her sound or appear this way before?
No, I have not.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Mr. Kading, cross-examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
Or Larry, cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for taking the time to be here. So, turning to the point when you have returned to the office and Fatima runs by you, okay? You described her mom followed in, correct?
Yes.
And you were able to hear what she had to say.
Yes.
And she was talking about my daughter, where's my daughter? I saw her run in here, correct?
Yes.
So she gave you verbal indication, the reason that she had run in was to look for her daughter, right?
Yes.
And did you tell her where her daughter went?
I did not.
Did you speak with her at all?
No, I did not.
Okay. So then you had, just after she had run in, you locked the doors to the commons, correct?
Yes.
And then you went around her to the doors and closed the doors behind.
Yes.
And you talked about the maybe not difficulty, but the time delay in the hydraulics on those doors, correct?
Yes.
But you were successfully able to close those doors?
Yes.
And she didn't push those doors open, correct?
She did not.
Okay, so the only time you saw her is the time from when you closed the doors to the common to the time that you went in and successfully closed those doors, correct?
Yes.
And when you heard her say, my daughter, was that when you were still in the office walking by her, or through the doors, or both?
I'm not aware of what she was saying when she came in.
So you heard her say, my daughter, where's my daughter? You could hear that through the door?
Yes.
Okay, just clarifying as to
Yeah.
when you heard that sound. And you described her as frantic?
Yes.
Okay, so what she was trying to do was find her daughter, right?
Yes.
Or at least that's what she outwardly said.
Yes.
Ms. Stone asked, did she ask about her medical condition? Correct?
She
And you
did
said
not.
no. Right?
She did not ask about her medical condition.
And there was no that would give any indication that they had had the time to talk to her about her medical condition, correct?
Correct.
I mean, you saw Fatima run through that area, correct?
Yes.
And shortly thereafter, her mom comes looking for her, correct?
Yes.
Nothing to indicate that there was anyone there who would have information about how she was doing. Fair?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Redirect.
Ms. Arnold, based on how Fatima appeared to you at the time, did it appear to you whether she was trying to escape from anyone?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Who made the objection?
I did, Your Honor.
What's your objection?
That wasn't the question.
Overruled.
You can answer. That means you can answer.
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Kading Recross?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And may this witness be excused?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
No, Your Honor.
You are excused. You may step down. You're free to go or stay in the courtroom however you so desire. Thank you. Ms. Stone, you may call your next witness. I think we're going to take about a 10-minute recess, and I'll ask the bailiffs to take you back to the jury room. Thank you. Please be seated. First of all, I just wanted to indicate the reason I did the stand-up, interrupting Ms. Stone's examination. I try not to ever interrupt lawyers, but there was juror number 8, second in from the front row. I had closed his eyes, and I've been watching them. They've been completely alert the entire time, but he looked sleepy, and he was much better after I did that. So I just wanted to put that on the record. If Ms. Stone ultimately indicates after our 10-minute reset that the state rests, how much time, Mr. Kading, do you need to speak with Mr. Ali as it relates to his decision as to whether or not he's going to testify? Because I understand you wouldn't be calling anyone else, potentially besides Mr. Ali.
I'd like 10 minutes.
All right. And Mr. Leary, I have the same question for you.
If I can answer that in 10 minutes after the break.
No, I just mean, how much time are you going to need to speak with Mrs. Ali about her decision as to whether or not she would testify?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
We've already had conversations, but I just want to have
Yes.
that final confirmation.
And then finally, I just wanted to ensure that the interpreters will be able to have one interpreter for Mr. Ali and Mr. Kading and one interpreter for Mr. Larry and Mrs. Ali during these discussions. And the interpreters are shaking their heads, yes, thank you. So what I would anticipate then is I'll ultimately hear from Ms. Stone, and then we might have the jury go out again relatively quickly, and then I will take another recess to allow those conversations to happen. All right. We'll be in recess for 10 minutes. Thank you.
All rise, court's in recess.